Late May 2024. Made my way to the Great Basin. Haven't shown you a lot of the South this year. Haven't been in the South too much this year, maybe 2 weeks overall, including over a week in March. Pretty much staying in the North this season is the plan, and it's not going to be the longest season. Already late May, some snow up there at the 9,000 foot or so line. On the New Pass Range is what that place is called ahead. It's a windy, chilly day. I just took off my puffy around noonish, for example. And I'm still thinking if that was a correct decision. The Mormon crickets are out in force already. I'm surprised to see them this early. I haven't spent a lot of time in the North this early, after all. That snow will be gone by early June or so. And these ranges won't be traversable. That's the goal. I've got a triple traverse of all things set up ahead. 2 of these ranges are in the 20s and one of them's in the 40s, miles that is. There's a natural arc formed by these 3 ranges, so it's just a super doable walk. See what the plant life is like. Spring's still developing in some sense, although it is developed. I've been walking through a burn zone, a substantial one, for miles now, and it's had a very rough effect upon the flora. Cheatgrass proliferating all over again immediately after burn, creating the perfect conditions for the next burn around the corner now. Bummer. Here begins New Pass Range. Topping out at the snowy steppe area up there. Sorry about the wind. The desolate burn zone continues up into the steppe. Former PJ forest is no more in vast swathes. Scattered individuals only on upper ridges and slopes out there. Snow on the steppe above, that's, I believe it's New Pass Peak itself. In other words, first of the triplet traverse has begun. Good morning from the New Pass Range. You can see the square miles of devastation in all directions. Just a few patches of remaining PJ individuals from what was once clearly continuous PJ forest up to the steppe. The steppe, that is. Still some sagebrush remnants, but lots of grasses have come back in. Both native fescues and fescue-like things, and of course the prominent invasive component that dominates, that is. Guess I'm off today. Vast swathes of Nevada these days, namely our cheatgrasses. Plenty of invasive mustards around too, though. Everything from Chorospora to Cecimbrium. And invasive ranunculoids, ceratocephalums, coming in as early colonists post-burn, post-devastation. This was a mightily intense one. And by the tone or force of the 50-mile-per-hour plus winds yesterday that I was experiencing, I can easily see such catastrophic spread on a particularly windy set of Great Basin days. I'll be up at the step though soon, and I'm expecting it to be pristine up there since there's no trees to carry such fierce wildfires. Got plenty of native annuals coming in though for the season. They're just not quite well developed yet. Lots of polygonums coming in, most of whom should be presumed to be native, at least in the mountains. Otherwise, the ravens are undergoing their courtship rituals. Lots of chasing of each other. Lots of chasing of ravens by smaller songbirds, indeed, which was quite a show yesterday. Too faint to see that kind of a high-speed bird chase with crappy technology, and didn't want to burden you with the winds. And myself at Memory Lane because that happens to be the high Toyabe out there. Did a double traverse of the high Toyabe, all the Toyabe, not just the high part, including that part. But the Shoshone, the Toyabe and Shoshone double traverse took me circa 19 whole days. Both quite lengthy ranges here right in front of us. That occurred in June 2019. And this is the significance. The walk, the double traverse, was what inspired me to start writing the Flora of Nevada. It goes back to here, specifically, although we could trace it deeper back. I could trace it to 2017 when I began floristic inventory at the Utah border there and realized there wasn't an adequate field guide for the region. But seeing the spectacular Great Basin flora in such intimate detail in June 2019 really conjured up the idea, and I began working immediately in July of 2019, in fact, and been working on ever since, nearly to the point of completion now, May 2024, although it may take me the rest of the year to get the first edition submitted to the publisher. We're getting there though, including my wonderful contributors. In the meantime, I'll continue taking you along the new pass range here and showing you devastation, complete devastation. See the boundaries of the fire very clearly. Lots of cheatgrass popped up in its wake. Couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 years ago, I have to say. But I'm getting into a better area here. Although it was burned here, the floor is pretty darn pristine. Got native Balsamorhizas, hydrophyllums, various native grasses, and lupins starting to come up. Not so many invasive species anymore, close to 8,000 feet up here, which is a good thing to see. Pristine flora again up on the step, thankfully. Weave my way up to the high point at New Pass Peak ahead there. A 2,000 foot gain overall today, but once that's over with, it's downhill for a bit. 3 major bumps of the New Pass range. First one was the highest. I didn't show you much up there. It's a bunch of brand new cell tower installation. Quite modern solar panels powering them. After this, I descend the Highway 50 where I have a box and water planted. Not that the water is terribly necessary, with some decent snow up high still, but in the lowlands it's still pretty dry and looks like some low, more hilly country ahead before I reach the next range. All manner of fittings and nuts and bolts. How incredibly intact still. You don't run into them this intact, probably on the newer side, all that often. Another shop house there. There's a shaft directly right there. There's a furnace. Or millery, I guess. I don't know. All kinds of interesting contraptions here. This one was quite modern, electrified. Still here because the fire didn't hit this side so bad. Well into the automobile era here. Some pretty new looking gas canisters, I wonder why. Saw some bags of ore up high. I think they might be testing the local materials here once again. It's interesting. Mixture of little beers and sodas. Never know what you might run into in Nevada. More stuff ahead, perhaps. It's a rather big settlement here. New Pass, perhaps. Oh yeah, there's quite recent activity here. Relatively modern books and documents. Clearly haven't been in usage for at least 20 plus years. This place has been falling apart though, wouldn't you think? Despite the chords and such. What kind of 80s-ish? Book of Trees. Here's the three major bumps of the new pass range. Came down this away to Highway 50 there where I had a box. Didn't make it very far at that point in the evening, but it's the Desatoya range ahead. There's the first major bump of it with a tiny bit of snow on top. Much snowier high country ahead.